So let me show you the absolute catastrophe that I just got myself into.
This is not gonna be good.
I'm gonna head up to the potato field now. I'm really expecting to have some good digging today. Check out the difference of where the rainbirds got to where they didn't. So obviously this is nice, like dark brown, and this is like light brown, punk dry, no moisture in the soil whatsoever. It's actually a little bit too muddy to dig, but it'll be nice for a change. I think it's gonna go like butter. I think I'm gonna be able to dig in two, not skin up the potatoes, and just rip. My goal is to dig like 20, 30 baskets of each today. And then Friday, which is in 2 days, when the guys can come, dig another like 50 baskets of each. That way we have in storage for the next week, because we just don't know when it's gonna rain again. And so we wanna dig as much as we can while there's quite a bit of moisture in the ground. That way it should dig easy. All right, so that was the best digging I had so far yet this year. You can see how nice and wet the soil is. The potatoes are actually a little bit muddy, which is just fine. These are gonna be great for not only washing, sliding across the table, but also we're gonna bag a lot of these because people are like screaming for them. And we just didn't have them, but now we will. Still had a little bit of clogging as far as like bunching up at the front of the machine. Then it straightened itself out here. Like I said, you should have an even amount of like potatoes and greens going through. That way everything's flowing properly. Like you can see here how it's kind of bunched up, but not horrible. I'm gonna lift it up, back up, and then maybe dig a couple more up in this row, only because that's maybe 15 baskets at most. So let me show you the absolute catastrophe that I just got myself into. Last time I was digging, I dug myself a hole because for some reason the potato digger just couldn't go. It was too much clogged up, tractor couldn't pull it, whatever. And so I thought, well, now that it's wet, I'll try it again. And I got stuck in the hole again, so I lifted the potato digger up to go through again. And I don't really know what happened, but I started going, got through this first hole with the tractor, started going, started digging another hole while these wheels fell in this hole. Something on the chain busted, and now look at the absolute mess I have myself into. So now I have to basically lay everything back out, put all these chains back in together, lift it up out of the ground, back the potato digger up, and then wrap the chain around all of these gears again. And there is one busted, which I don't even know where it went anymore. Right here. This is the whole problem. This curve, like these guys, well, this curve that was supposed to be here, like these guys here, busted, and the whole thing just let loose. So now that guy is no good, which obviously I can't lose, but I'm gonna have to put all these back together, and then hopefully we have extras down at the farm, which I think we do. I have to bring that up and then put the whole thing back on again. So this is now gonna be the next 2 to 3 hours of my day. So I'm making progress. This stuff right here isn't so bad because I can put that whole section on at one time. And it's pretty simple. I mean, sometimes it gives you problems, but all you got to do, and it's going to be hard for me to do with one hand, but get it close, and then, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Nope, I'm not even going to try. Get it close, and then you get it right there in that groove, and then this side here, you got to like tilt it backwards. There, that's latched, flat tight, and then this one here. Come on. Well, usually it doesn't give me issues, of course. Now it does. And now that was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 more. But this stuff's all tangled in, and luckily it's not bent. I didn't run it too far past where it should be. So there it is, all linked together. I have 5 bent ones that I have in the Kubota. I think we have extras. I want to replace them. I figured if I'm gonna already do the whole thing, I might as well make it right if possible. And so now the next step is gonna be cleaning off the front, backing it out of this mess, over top this chain somewhere about in the middle, and then we'll actually, somebody will have to be on one side, somebody will have to be on the other, and we'll fold the chain up, and then link it together right here. And then we should be back in business. But first, I gotta get those links. So this is the chain, or the size chain that I'm looking for. And nothing that we have fits. We have all these here. 1, 2, which I think these two are the same. This guy, and none of them match. These ones are too long. These ones are too short. These ones are way too long. And it's gotta literally be perfect. This guy is, again, too long. And that's a heavy diameter. It looks heavier, maybe not. Yeah, it looks a little bit heavier. I don't know. Don't even know where they all came from, but they're not doing me no good. So sometimes after, you know, just wear and tear over the years, you can actually take a link out because it just gets sloppy because the metal gets worn down, and you can stretch it a little bit tighter, and that might be what I need to do. I wanted to replace all 5, but I'm literally gonna put in all the bent ones, and then hopefully I can stretch it enough to just get it linked on there. And if that doesn't work, I don't know what we're gonna do, because we have nothing else to take its place.
If you guys ever wonder why sometimes I don't get videos uploaded until like 9, 10 o'clock at night, this is the reason right here, because it's this kind of stuff.
It's 7 o'clock. We finished all our work, and then Mom and I came back up here, and I forgot my camera, so I couldn't video, to put this potato digger back together. And after about an hour, hour and a half, we finally got it done. Now, I don't know why these aren't riding in that slot there very good, but at least it's on, and it's put together right, and I operate it, it's working good. So I'm unhooking this thing. I'm not coming back until Dad can come, make sure everything's good to go, and then we're gonna start again with the big 4230 instead of the International.
Talked to our cousin today, who's also our neighbor, who is also a farmer, and he uses a 4230. I think that's what he uses, something very close to that. And he said he thinks that works very well. He even agreed that this tractor just might not have enough, maybe, I don't know if it's horsepower or what it may be, to operate the digger and move through the field smoothly. And so I think that's why the chains popped off. Also, I was in a ditch like I showed you, so it was mostly my fault. Either way, digger's fixed and I'm going home.
So it is now the next day. I am back up here at the potato digger, and I'm gonna be putting new fitting, I'm not actually sure what you call them, basically new fittings on the end of our hydraulic hoses, or adapters, whatever they're called, to match up with the fittings on our 4230. Because each tractor, especially different companies like International, John Deere, have different fittings to fit the hydraulic hose ends. And so I'm gonna put on what's called Pioneer, I think Dad said, and that's an adapter that will work with not only John Deere, but also International. So I'm gonna take what's on here now off, which is these guys right here. These will not work on the John Deere, only the International. And I'm gonna put these guys right here, which I think these are the Pioneer ones. I don't know, maybe it's John Deere, Pioneer, I don't really know. Don't quote me on all this. But it's just a little bit different. It hooks up a little different. And then another end is gonna pop on top of this to fit right inside of the International, or the John Deere, sorry. Now to me, this looks a little bit smaller diameter than this. I'm almost positive it is. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm gonna call Dad quick and see what he says before I put him on, but he said he knows it's right. All right, so let's, oh God, I almost just broke my tripod. I can't do that. This whole thing is coming off of here. You gotta be kidding me. I brought the wrong wrench. No, dang it. All right, so I'm back with okay. That's a 1-incher. Wow. What in the world? All right. That was way, way harder than I thought. Whoop. She's off. I don't know how many wraps is like the standard for what you should do. And I know it's different for like PVC and metal. But when it's metal, I usually like to do, get to stop going around in circles there, like 3. Now we'll thread this guy on. And then we'll tighten her. So there they are. Number 2. Now I'll get the fittings for on those, which is just gonna pop right on easy. And then we'll bring the John Deere up and start digging. I'm a little nervous because this is kind of like everything I've been wanting to do for the potatoes as far as digging. And so if this doesn't work out, I don't know what I'm gonna do because there's nothing else I can think of that's gonna work any better. We've watered the ground. Now we're using the big tractor. All right, so both remotes go on one side. This hose is longer, so I just curl it up around. Everything's latched in there. Now I will turn these on, and we should be good to go. So I wanted to try and get a little bit of video, but I had to stop now again. I wish my mom was here. She's at the farm market, so she couldn't help. But the problem is it's just too much greenery that it is balling up. But the biggest thing between this tractor and the other tractor is that it doesn't bog down and shut off on me. So it keeps going. And that's a good and a bad thing. Good because I can keep rolling, and sometimes it'll then feed itself back through instead of shutting down, but also bad because if you're not keeping a close eye and something goes wrong, the tractor is so powerful it'll just overpower the digger and stuff will start banging, slamming, breaking, and doing whatever. So I'm constantly looking back, which I mean I always am, but like right here, how you can see it's all balled up, that's not gonna go away. It's too big now to where I have to physically get out and take care of that myself, back up, clean it out, and then start again. Or if I don't, it's just gonna ruin all the potatoes or ruin something in the digger. So my goal was 40. After looking at everything that I dug, I'm thinking there's like 30. 40's pushing it. But I forgot baskets. Now I gotta go all the way back down to the shed. Just because I gotta get myself out of that mess. Okay, so all the potatoes are now picked up. I think we dug like 50 or 60 altogether. The white potatoes are, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty bad. We're gonna have to sell most of them for seconds. They just got so badly damaged that they just they can't be sold for good ones. And so anyway, then I went over to the reds, and before I went to the reds, I talked to Dad and we tried something different, and that was moving our little metal plate we have on our drawbar. And the reason it looks like this is obviously the drawbar, and so this is off our batwing mower. This usually comes up on top and then keeps it like this. But what I realized was that on our potato digger, the top tongue, or whatever you want to call it, broke off. So I was lifting this up extra high to get it on top of the drawbar, which then wouldn't allow the digger to go on the ground as far as it should have. Or at least that's the way I'm picturing it in my head. And so when I switched it around to this way, it lowered the tongue and let it go on the ground better, ultimately resulting in a lot better dig that let the potatoes come on top of the ground without having almost any marks on them whatsoever. So that's a lesson learned. Now hopefully the rest of the field will go smooth. So here's all the potatoes. Looks pretty cool. Back here at the shed, the guys got a ton of peppers. Red Cubanelle, red Italianelle, orange bell, green bell, red bell, Cuban, red beets, and more of this, oh, green Italian. And then here's some of the potatoes that we're gonna wash. I'm heading out about a mile from the farm to our pumpkin field, and I'm gonna grab some acorn squash and butternut squash, if they're ready. I think they are. So this is actually my cousin's farm. We've got some gourds down here and large pumpkins, and up here we have some white pumpkins, blue Hubbard, orange Hubbard, spaghetti squash, acorn, and there's even some sugar pumpkins up there. He's got one goat, a horse, which he actually boards for a lady. Brought Daisy out with me. I hope that wasn't a mistake. Now you can probably imagine that a lot of this stuff didn't do how it should have because of the dry weather. And you'd have imagined right. I would say we're getting, if we're lucky, half of what we should be normally getting on a normal year with normal rain. The spaghetti, there's like 1 or 2 on each plant. Usually there's like 3, 4, 5 on a plant. And so we're just gonna clean stuff up faster than we normally would, but at least most of it anyway is nice size. So that's the main thing. Butternut, same exact way. Now these ones here are a little bit smaller, and if you can tell, they're even a little bit green. They're not like that nice dark brown. So I might have to move out here a little bit. The acorn, when they're ready, what usually happens is they'll get like an orangish belly or start to get an orange belly, kind of like that. So I think they're ready to go, or most of them are anyway. And the nice thing about these is you can kind of just snap them off. You don't really need to use clippers for them. But yeah, every one has some orange on the belly, so I'm gonna call that good. That one just barely. If they're too small, I'm just gonna let them go altogether. They will get bigger, or at least ripen anyway. So the butternuts just aren't ready. They're a little bit too green yet. Even the acorn, like I said, are borderline ready. So I'm just gonna get like 4 or 5 baskets of these, and then I'm gonna move and try and get some orange Hubbard and blue Hubbard. There's a couple here I found that look to be pretty good, and they're nice sized. The butternut. What do you think, Dace? So usually we pick the orange and blue Hubbard in bins, but I don't have them. So I'm just gonna pick a couple. These have really nice orange bellies. From what I hear, these are the best for making pumpkin pies over basically anything else. You'd think pumpkin pie, you'd want a pumpkin, but it's not what I hear. So this is all I got. Sammy just called and said that she's here, or at the farm. So I'm gonna head back. Nice little load. Just something to let the customers know that we have. That way, whether they want to buy now or in a week or 2 or 3, they know where to come to.